welcome back to the channel. Okay, what the hell have I got in front of me? This little exercise video has come about from a recent conversation I had with my youngest son, where we was talking about different bits and pieces of investment, and we was just talking about silver in general, and trying to work out, are we getting the best value for our investment into silver? That was one of the conversations anyway. So we had a quick conversation. I said, we need to put it down and on paper. This is the way we looked at it, really. For the benefit of this, I'm going to use some silver. Crikey, some of it's really spotting up. Just normal Britannias. If I can get them to focus up. Hey, there we go. Normal Britannias. With some lovely milk spots on them. And with the Queen's Head, commonly known now on this channel, courtesy of Stephen, as the boss. Anyway, we're going to use those. We're going to use pounds because we live in the UK, and we're going to keep it really easy when we look at things logically and mathematically, and we just drill down on it. Now, this is just before everyone. If anyone watches this video and goes, yeah, but what about this one? Mate, guys, ladies, I know about all that. What me and my son do when we have a chat is we just generically look at a standard, because there are lots of things that can change, and there's lots of, we're quite well aware of that. But what we like to do is when we're looking at it as any investment, we'll break it down in a very logical, simple way, and then work a model off of that, taking into consideration all the others. So this is, I just thought I'd share where we go with it, you know. I don't want anyone to copy me. I don't want anyone to take this as advice. It's just our opinion and what we do it. And the great thing about my journey on here is I just share it, you know. You can think it's a load of crap, or you can think it's useful. I don't know. But anyway, this is what we do. So for fundamentals, we know about spot. A spot price, which is depicted by a group of people that say this is what the spot price of this silver is, and that's sent around the world. That's roughly what everyone works to. And some people call it a melt price. I get why they call it a melt price, and they say, well, if I melt this piece of silver, what's the value of it? Generally, so you know, again, this is the way we look at it. So we just take one silver Britannia, 1 ounce of silver, okay, and we say, okay, currently, to keep the maths very simple, it costs us in true form £20, and we're going to keep the spot price at £20. Now, depending where we buy it from, dealers or buyers, we all understand that in the way the economy works, it doesn't matter. It's just not apply to silver. If someone's supplying us with a product or service, they put a premium on for that product or service. And as a rule, and then that can change wherever you go, but as a rule, we work it out as most people would probably put 20% on as a premium. So 20% of £20 is another 4. These are euros because I couldn't find any pound coins, although I had one. But for the benefit of the video, so now we have 1 ounce of silver, which is on there. It's now costs us as a rule £24. Now, depending where we go, if you're buying it brand new from a dealer, we have to pay VAT. tea in this country, which is another 20%, which is another £4. So in true reality, that would cost us, that 1 ounce piece of silver would cost us, and I know there's different variations, but we try and keep it simple to make the model work. You've got to start somewhere, because then you can start to be clever with it. So that 1 piece of silver, as a rule, has cost us £28. So we know there's a spot price. Forget the premiums, forget the VAT, and there's a spot price, because that's generically, if the shit hits the fan or anything, I want to sell it very quickly, and someone just wants to offer me the spot price, it's going to be £20. So I'm down 8. So we're down 8. So then we're looking at it and just think, okay, how do we get that? Before we start, on day one, we're down 8. We're down 40% on our investment. So what we do then is go, okay, what's the chances of getting that 40% back? So we look at things historically, and we look at markets, and markets have a big macro influence, and they have a big financial institution influence, and it's all out of my control, our control, my son's control. So then we look at past history. We all heard people say, look at the past to depict the future. So what we do, we look at the past, we go, okay, when do we see those sort of returns coming back? 40% rises in the price of silver in what sort of periods of time? Now, over a long period of time, yeah, definitely. Over a short period of time, I haven't seen it this year. That's for sure. So there's these two things going on. There's what am I investing, why am I investing, and how long am I going to invest it for? And regardless of what the past has told me, does the future still look like that's going to be like the past? And there's too many uncertain things going on now that I can categorically say that this is going to move at least 40% to actually get my initial money back on that investment in the first place. Let alone hope that could make me another 5 or 10% on top. So you're now looking at 50%, 45, 50%. So, depending on your period of time, and there's a massive argument that can be put on that, but I will say that argument is based on events out of my control, and I don't control those. What I control is limiting that risk more than I can, to then go, okay, if I'm going to overinvest with my fiat currency into a product, what's the greatest risk that I'm going to witness, possibly, because no one's got a crystal ball, although I've got a crystal ball, a world flying around in the corner there. I can't control that, so it's a tough one. And that's without getting into collectibles and bits and pieces. But the principles still always go the same way. Buyers will buy your stuff from you at the cheapest price that they can get. And what I said to my son is, it isn't just a case of, and he recognised that straight away, because he was querying it to me all the time. He said, "Wow, Dad, that's a massive return, It's a massive hope return that we can get in a 5 or 10 year period." Now, it's okay if history's consistent, but we all know it's not. If you want to look and actually not take a biased view of, it's going to do well, and be honest with yourself, we all hope it's going to do well, but there's no guarantees. And when you're chasing a higher return just to break even, that's quite a high risk to me. Maybe wrong, maybe right. That's the way we look at it, and I'm probably leaving out lots of variables, but I want to keep it simple. And then what we do from there is then look at, okay, how can we limit the risk? How can we improve it? What else can we look at? Where can we buy from so we can bring those premiums? Because I look at VAT in the UK as a premium. It's a premium on the price of what you're paying if you're buying new from most dealers. So now I've got a core, something core to work from, and my son has got something core to work on. So the model is, when we look at purchasing now, we look at, okay, where are we looking at that in a core value? Let's look at the 20% markup. Let's look at the 20% VAT if we're buying new. Let's look at the premiums and what's the likelihood of having a consistent market telling us the same thing's going to happen that's happened in the past going forward over that period of time too. Sounds really, really complicated, but it's a great core base to start from. Hope that makes sense. That's what we do. That's why I change my mind sometimes, and as I grow with the different investments and grow with, you know, for me, I've been growing with this silver thing. You know, and I apply the same with gold, Bitcoin, whatever I invest in, absolutely anything. And we always have to consider the purchasing power of the fiat currency and its debasement. And that's another kettle of fish. And you mustn't forget that. Because one day you're going to sell this currently, possibly, for this. But is this got the same purchasing power? So there's all these different variables. It's not a put-off video. It's my son. We're still investing. But we're just looking at it in a very different way going forward and trying to limit those risks as much as we can, because that's the game. That's the game we've got to play. We can't beat the people at the top, but we can play in the game and try and improve. So that's my basics. That's how we got there. That was the conversation. Hope you found that useful. Just do your own, do your own research, do your own figures, do your own, work it out for yourself, but it's such a good exercise when you're investing to have something, a model to work from, whether it's right, wrong or whatever. You'll soon find out whether it's right or wrong while you're doing your research. So that's a bit of an insight into what I do. Carry on your stacking, carry on your collecting. It's all good. We're all good. We're all going to be all right. We just got to educate yourself, and try these different things and have these little models. Enjoy it. It's fun. It's great. It's lovely. Take good care. I want to go bye, but Stephen's really taking the piss out of that at the moment. Ha ha ha. I love him to death. And so I'm going to go bye.